I'm Chip Townsend, and this is the Team Chip Podcast. All right, guys, we're back with the Team Chip Podcast, and I'm excited to be here with the beautiful Miss Glyn Ann. How are you today, babe?
Fabulous.
Fabuloso, so good. We're going to be talking a little bit about building character in a convenience-driven world. What do you think about that?
Well, I think we need to define our terms.
Define our terms.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about building character, about good personal qualities to have as a... I like to use business terms. You know, we talk about this all the time as part of our mission model and belief. Our bigger statement is being an asset in your society, being an asset. An asset, the assumption in my mind is something that gives back and not a liability which takes, right?
Yeah, and then convenience driven, just talking about the fact that everything is microwave, single serve, plastic wrapped.
In my world, it's triple serve. I want the Big Macs. You know, like the big size. You know, but anyway, yeah, it's convenience, man. You said the word I was about to say, microwave. How fast can we have it? How easy can it be? Can we get it delivered in the next 15 minutes?
Oh yeah, and we'll pay extra to do that.
and we are guilty of these things just like you are.
That's why I'm sitting here smiling like, no, that was actually this morning.
We are. Instant gratification is a powerful swaying thing in our world, right? Just the ability to get things done quick. I mean, technology is like an absolute gift, and it is just evil sometimes too, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's whenever the blessing turns into not a blessing.
I think the word that comes to mind, and I hate to just play the middle ground, is moderation. You know, we got to moderate. Sometimes it's okay for that convenience, but a lot of times in our life, we need to choose the hard path.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And building true, deep, godly character in a person means we choose the hard path. And because, you know, instant gratification, apps, quick fixes, shortcuts, fast delivery, all these things, you know, we just have to be careful with it. And we need to make sure that we're sometimes choosing the hard path. And I think as martial arts school owners and in the martial arts school, it is incumbent upon us as leaders in there to help people to build grit and build that character through hard work, because without hard work, you can never really be good at martial arts, right?
Yeah, that's right. You know, martial arts is it's not just about developing a skill, but it's a character building system where you're developing discipline, perseverance, integrity. And, you know, it's like, okay, how? I always tell parents, we want you to come in and see the class. You know, can I drop them at the door? Please, no, actually, no, because I need
prefer
you to
engage.
Yeah, I need you to see
right.
Okay, how many did you just do? You know, because you think, okay, integrity, how does that correlate into martial arts? Well, did you do 7 or did you do 12? Or did you, like, are you actually, did you do what you just said you did? Did you now your integrity there is also affecting your perseverance because you quit when it got hard. So that's how martial arts is more than just let's learn a jab, cross, and a kick.
Right.
It's the
absolutely
integrity.
Well, and this is all happening in a world that's screaming convenience.
Right.
It's screaming instant information, instant gratification. We've already kind of beat that horse up, but character is built in the moments where we choose effort over ease.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think the thing that we have to really combat ourselves to and be aware of is look at the messaging that you're going to get in the next 10 minutes, and it's all about how to do it quicker, faster, easier, and make your life better.
Absolutely.
And your life better is not about let's dig in for the long haul and do the harder thing. Well, it's how to do it quick and how to do it fast and how to do it easy and how to take a shortcut.
Right.
If I had a penny for every time I saw the word something hack,
oh man,
those pennies would be stacking up.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing: there's a time and a place for those hacks, I think. But when we think back, a while back, it was really popular. I can't remember if it was Seth Godin, a really popular author. Did a bunch of research and came up with this idea of takes 10,000 intentional hours at something to kind of master a skill. And that is absolutely counterintuitive to the idea of, instant gratification and immediate, feedback and all of these things. And so, I know we beat this up a lot, but what are some of the pieces of this convenience culture? It's the cell phone in our hand is killing us, right?
Right.
And then that becomes the digital babysitter whenever we don't want to inconvenience ourselves to actually parent our children. And yes, I said that if you don't want to inconvenience yourself with actually parenting your children, you hand them a phone. It's just the easy way. Here, shut up and play a game, right? And these things are absolutely killing us. Technology is such an absolute blessing in so many ways, but it can also bite us if we don't, again, intentionally make some hard choices.
Right.
This convenience culture is causing us all to want, and I have mixed feelings about this one, but just instant feedback on everything right now. Used to, you took a test and you had to wait a week for the teacher to grade it and read your essay and give you feedback. And
your results were posted on a door with your name on it
public.
And your grade. It was not a private, like, oh, I just saw, it was like everybody saw, you made a 54. Not that I ever did.
No. No, me either. But anyway, back to the convenience culture, it's just, there's just so many things, with technology, we want instant feedback. We're looking for the fast fix to everything. And the fast fix is not always the best way. It's like, weeds grow fast. Trees, these beautiful trees that give us oxygen to breathe and, are awesome to look at and create this amazing shade. They take years, man.
But they also don't plant them in the ground and leave them alone. They take cultivating too. And that's the part that I think that you miss. And the thing, it's that, we talk about it all the time, but in martial arts, you start a journey, but it's not about A to Z. It's the part in the middle that actually is the formative part.
It makes me think of that story, The Dash.
Yeah.
It's the dash. You were born on this date and then you die on this date. But what really mattered was the dash.
Right.
What happened in the middle. Convenience erodes accountability in ways, responsibility, grit. And so we just need to be, careful. I know we've kind of beat that up, but we just live in a culture that's just beating us up constantly with the fastest, newest, freshest. And in business, I've alluded to this in some of our podcasts before, but I have, peers in the industry sometimes, and I love them to death, but they kind of drive me crazy at times because it's like, oh man, I did a month on this marketing program and then this business guru said this and now I'm over here doing this. And then this business guru said this and I'm over here doing this. And I'm like, and then they're complaining because nothing's working.
Right.
And it's like, you have not stayed on anything long enough to build a foundation, to let the roots set, to grow anything. Stop bouncing around and jump into the next easy thing.
Yeah, because the reality is whenever you don't stick with something, you are not finding out those things that you need to change.
Right.
And you're making it all about this, it's all about what's on the outside being the source of the problem instead of fixing the thing from the inside. And that's the dash. That's that, in the middle alphabet. That's the B to Y.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it makes it easy too, kind of, I think, along with what you're saying, to put the blame outside,
right.
That external, locus of control. I'm going to point out a way.
Right.
It's not my fault, not internal. It's external because that guy promised me results in 30 days and I didn't get those results. So it's all his fault. And, gosh, it's just a problem. So what does it take to build character? Character is a choice. Character is not inherited. I think we definitely get genes and get some tendencies from our families, but I think some of that comes from nurturing too. But it's not inherited. It's not, automatic. It's developed through consistent, disciplined action. And when I think about that, I kind of think back to whenever we took over the martial arts school. I've alluded to this, I'm sure, but my mom, I'd call her sometimes like, hey mom, I've got these little guys. I don't have kids yet. And what do I do with them? And one of the things she talked to me about was being firm but fair.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. Like, be firm with them. Set that boundary and don't give. But never set it with high emotion, but set a good boundary and be firm, but never set a boundary that's unfair. And, in building character, we've got to set strong boundaries and have high expectations that are still reasonably fair. And I think that's so important. Character is just not something that just happens. And I also believe that in the martial arts world, we have such a unique, we don't have to, we choose this life. And we have such an opportunity to implement these boundaries and these expectations and help people to build character.
Well, it's that grit muscle versus quit muscle. We're teaching them how to do that. And the thing is, that doesn't just fit into the little martial arts bubble. That is literally in every area of your life.
Everything.
That is the, the employee that's getting the 50-year pendant versus the one that's had 50 different jobs.
Right.
That is the marriage that is 50 years long. Because let me tell you, there's grit in there. It's not.
You talking about me?
There is a lot of grit.
Especially in this, right? So we're working on, 35 years coming up?
Yeah,
35?
I had to math too. Yeah, very good.
And guys, just a quick, not to get too segued into marriage, but it just gets better every year.
It does.
I absolutely love this woman more every year. It's just like every day. It's just crazy. So anyway, with that said, grit is so important. It just stick with it. Saying yes to easy choices.
Right.
It weakens your long-term strength. Every time I just give a quick yes, an easy this and easy that, you're atrophying your ability to be gritty,
Well, and when you understand that marketers set up that they intentionally make the barrier to entry easy, that the barrier to get started, but then it's because the idea is that you get in the door, whatever that door is, and you get started, but then you fall off the wagon or you stop. That's really on you. They've made it easy to get started. That's intentional, but then the stick-to-itiveness
falls on us.
Is on us, and we can know that they've made this an offer I can't refuse, and that's we get it. But the sticking to it is that's we've said
absolutely
it 3 times on us.
Remember, saying no to comfort or no to convenience sometimes with intentionality, it helps you to grow and build that grit. It helps you to grow and build your integrity. There's a powerful book that we read a few years ago. I think you may have read it first and told me about it. I can't remember. Yep. And it's called The Comfort Crisis. And the guy was a journalist and realized he was spending every day wearing orthopedic shoes, sitting in an orthopedic chair, and just life was easy, and made the decision to go to like Alaska and go like on a hunt where he had to hike for miles and be in the mountains and
carry his stuff,
carry his own stuff, and realized how amazingly powerful that was in helping him to be a healthier, stronger, better person overall.
Right.
But anyway, that book was a great book, and if you're interested in reading, I would encourage that as something to look at for sure. Some things to think about around the martial arts school. Okay, so stick to routines. It's okay. I know we talk a lot about disguising repetition, but there's also something to be said for kind of taking people through a little bit of the monotony at times.
Right.
And so, even in your warm-ups, letting your warm-ups be the same for a while, whether that's a while being a week for you or 3 months, and trying to bring a lot of passion to it so it's exciting, but like letting that warm-up be the same and getting people into routines and letting, drills and things be repetitive, right? And helping people to work their way through that, because right now, again, because everything is so easy at the click of a button, people want to walk away. Oh, this is no fun anymore. It was fun for the first 2 classes. Now I've got to go. We can help them through that and build that character and build that grit muscle instead of that quit muscle by working them through that. And I think a big part of that is explaining the why. Why are we doing what we do, right? Make it matter and let them know how it applies to their life, right?
Absolutely. And a big thing, the correction and discipline is such an important part of learning how to receive feedback. I mean, all of the why of sticking with it is, just because you hear that something needs to be adjusted or changed is not the end of the world. And you, in your jobs, in everything that you do from now on, you're going to get feedback.
Right.
And if you shut down we said it again, but the quit muscle versus the grit muscle. It's that, okay, somebody said something I don't like, I'm just going to quit, versus, okay, there's probably some truth there. We've talked about that too. But I've got to stick with it. And
Right. Well, I think one of the things that kind of pops in my head is, as a martial arts instructor, in the martial arts world, which is supposed to be known for discipline and structure and, repetition, it can be easy to be influenced by the next monthly due from this student. I'd rather just keep them happy and just kind of tell them good job no matter what they do, not explain the why, right? But that's not cool. That's not good business. That's not good martial arts. We have to be willing to step in and go, hey, let's make an adjustment. Now, how I present that is very important.
For sure.
Praise, correct, praise. I've got to, be positive and then make a correction. But we have to be willing to be disciplined ourselves as leaders.
That's right.
And step in and help make those corrections. So I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was teaching a kids' jiu-jitsu class, and I had a pretty big crew of kind of intermediate jiu-jitsu kids that were go-getters. I showed them a very specific drill. I said, we call it default grips, a sleeve, a collar. I was very detailed. Osotogari, sweep, put them on the ground, put a knee down, put some tension in their gi, put some pressure on them. And everybody pair up, everybody understands, yes, sir, we're ready to go. They start taking off, and a good portion of the kids did everything right, swept, just immediately let go and backed away. And I just stopped the whole room right there. And I said, guys, come over here. Tell me the difference in good and great. Of course, I got a lot of deer in the headlights. They're young, right? And the answer I was looking for is details. The difference in good being average. You make a 75, a C in school, that's average. For me, that's not good enough. It never has been.
Right.
Not for myself, not for my kids. And so let's not make a C. Let's add the details and let's make an A. How about an A plus, a 95, right? And so I talked to them a little bit about that and re-showed them what was going on. I actually did their version where I swept and just kind of let go. And I looked at them and I said, did I do something wrong? And they all agreed, yes, sir. And I'm like, all right, guys, when I watched you do it, a bunch of you did that too. And they were like, oh, we have to be willing. The point is, as instructors, to politely, but yet firmly call them out, help them make that correction. And after we did that, and I explained, do you want a C or an A plus? We want an A plus. Well, absolutely. Let's go back and be A pluses. Let's earn those A pluses. And all of a sudden, the entire room was on task. But again, my point of that is even as instructors, as leaders, we can get wooed into the convenience.
Right.
The easy. Well, I need this many active students because, when we do look too hard at our metrics can distract us. Man, we need this many active students. Well, I can't afford to lose somebody because I'm correcting them. Right. Wrong. Correct them. They're going to love you more in the long run for making a long-term impact in building their grit muscle instead of their quit muscle. There's just so much more positive to stepping in and being disciplined with them.
Yeah,
right?
And I think sometimes we focus so hard on keeping it fun that we avoid the details that do make great. And the thing is, the details it's fun to do it right. And
Absolutely.
I think switching that mindset of it has to be fun, which fun is not funny, but just making it, like float through the motions rather than let's do it right. Let's make it effective. And then that's fun whenever it actually works.
When it actually works.
Yeah. And then, but the thing is, you can be a parent. And so this is kind of for parents. You can be a parent sitting at the side and you almost feel like the detail work is drudgery. And it's not. That it's, as a parent, it's your job to go, man, I loved how you were getting those details tight. Because this is the thing. If I build in my child a mentality of always looking for it to be fun and never focused on making it right, then I'm going to have I'm going to have an adult child that is now that's going, well, this marriage is no longer fun.
Oh,
this marriage is no longer, this relationship is no longer fun. And then all of a sudden they're living in my basement because, I mean,
not my basement.
No, we don't have a basement. That's why. But you know what I'm saying? It's you're putting in them that the world revolves around you, and that it revolves around everything being easy. And if I had $1 for every time I hear they just don't like it anymore, what do they not like?
Right.
There's something happening in that car ride on the way
home. Oh my gosh. Well, back to, not to toot my horn, but yesterday in that class, it's so great that you said that. At the end of that class, the floor was slimy with sweat. And this is a kid class, right? And granted, there are a few kids in there that are 12, 13-ish, but the floor is slimy. It is hot. It's stuffy. I look over at the parents. I'm like, man, this was amazing. Look at this floor. And the parents are celebrating and the kids are celebrating. And I pulled all the kids together and I said, guys, who had a great class? Every single hand, boom, explodes up. And I asked them, I said, what made it an amazing class? Because we worked hard, sir. Because we learned details. Because you made us push. And that's the answers I get.
Right.
And I'm like, that's amazing.
That's right.
And so, you said a while ago something really powerful. You said for the parents watching, you may feel like the details are drudgery, but when those kids got the details, the pace ramped up, the passion went up, the excitement got up, and it got up because the detail paid a dividend.
That's right.
And they could feel it, they could receive it. And that, the way you approach that as a parent, like she said, is edify it when you see them making those little micro improvements that are helping them be better. So I don't want to beat that up too much, but this is just, for us as martial arts instructors, we have such a unique position. And the last thing I'll try to say about that is I told the kids when I asked them who had a good class, and I asked them specifically who had fun, and they all raised their hand. And I said, guys, we all may see different things as fun. And I told them, I said, for me, because my guys did some free rolling rounds, they did some free sparring rounds, I said, that to me is fun. When I get to grab somebody, smash them, choke them, arm lock them, I said, that's where the fun is. And they were like, yeah. And so how we present what is fun also matters, right?
Yeah.
We're helping them. And to understand, that was fun because I was working my butt off and sweating all over the place, but I was learning good things. So anyway, don't want to beat the dead horse too much, but we just have such a unique opportunity as martial arts school owners and operators and teachers.
And I think the thing that just popped into my head that I wanted to, just reiterate again, all of the things that we think about, like if we talk about like an impactful time or an impactful scenario, not a single one. I don't know anybody that has a part of their, their testimony, if you want to say that, or, their story has to do with a convenient moment, a moment that happened that was quick. It was something that was worked for, that they striven for. We just striven for that movement. That was a great word. We'll add that to the Teamship Dictionary. They stroved. But something that they really worked for, and something that took time, and it's never something that was instant, and it was because it was so fun and so easy. We don't grow in easy. Absolutely. The stories we tell are the ones of hard times, difficulty, crashes, things like that, right? And those are the memorable things. But that's where we grew. All right, guys. So just a little encouragement. If you're a martial arts school owner, operator, this week, just kind of watch your classes, watch your class plans and think about where convenient shortcuts may be creeping in on us, and where could we steer that more towards grit, follow through, stick-to-itiveness, for lack of better words. So just something to think about. And another thing too, this goes beyond the martial arts school or the martial arts mat. This goes to encouraging these kids. So a lot of times in those mat chats, when I'm talking to them about, hey, what was fun? It was hard work, sir. And they're excited about that in that moment because they felt success, because the technique worked and their heart rate's up and they got to sweat and they got to work with their friends. And then carrying that over, guys, are you going to apply this to your schoolwork? Yep. Are you going to apply this to your chores at home? Are you going to
follow through and do the chore well. And, just for the simple sake of being a good man or a good young woman and getting it done right.
That's right.
And so it's kind of incumbent upon us to help them to see how that translates into their life. And like Glyn Ann said a while ago, by endorsing their want for ease and, oh, it's no fun. Okay, honey, I'll just let you quit because it's no fun anymore. By endorsing that, we create this person who in their career will struggle for the rest of their life because they don't know how to grit through things. And
because they think that it's all about them.
Absolutely. And parents, we encourage you to celebrate and reinforce their, positive outcomes, but celebrate consistency, celebrate, the hard work, and celebrate, the integrity it took to get that done. I can't talk enough about, the book Mindset by Carol Dweck, Grit by Angela Duckworth. There's some really great books out there that talk about this. Whenever we just look at our kids and go, oh, you're so smart, Susie, Johnny, you're so good at that. Anytime you plant that seed too much, anytime they run up against anything difficult, the quit muscle kicks in.
That's right.
Yeah. And so just encouragement to as parents, to celebrate that consistency and as martial arts instructors too. That's massive, right? And then, staff, your leadership team, the people around you, model it, inspect what you expect, model perseverance and model high standards and model hard work. And it's just, and again, I get passionate about this because I feel like we're so blessed to get to do what we do.
Yeah. And I think a kind of a call to action, I guess you could say, is like this week, look for something that your child does, or even, like look at yourself and just go, you know what, this week I did, and find something that you did without taking any kind of shortcut, like, and for me, one of those is honestly like it's real easy to go, hey, ChatGPT, create a, email for me.
We're guilty of it too.
Write an outline for this. And actually, but the thing is, who is getting built in that?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When it's easy, I don't know, maybe ChatGPT is getting built. I'm not sure about how that works, but, and don't forget too, man, these are biblical principles, building perseverance and self-control and honoring God in all that you do. Remember Proverbs 22:6, train children in the right way. Consistency over convenience matters. So guys, just want to encourage you to, let's build great character. Let's build that grit muscle, not that quit muscle. And, carry that passion you have for martial arts into your teaching, your leadership, and all those things. So you got any last minute great nuggets for us?
I don't.
You don't?
We're good.
Yep. That was good. All right, guys. Just, daily reflect, where am I choosing convenience where I could be choosing maybe a little better character? I don't know. Look inside first before you look outside. Don't point, the blame other places if things aren't going quite right. And let's not all be swept up into the convenience and, instant gratification mindset.
Right.
Let's
don't let that seep into other, it's great as a time saver, whatever, but don't let that ooze into other areas of your life.
Absolutely. We share these things. Hope you guys enjoy them. Let us know what you would like to hear about. And remember, when God put us here on earth, he said, go work it. Work. All right. Go work hard. Have a good day. Love you guys. Like it, love it, share it, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you for tuning into the Team Chip Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget, subscribe, share, and or leave a review because we need you. We appreciate you so much. And without you, we can't make this happen. Remember, consistency is the key to success. So go out there and never be outworked.